Okay, week 9. The playoffs are around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Start, sit, advice. Hopefully, we're going to help you win some matchups today. We're also going to give you those Hail Mary. Throw a prayer up and see what comes down matchups as well. So let's get straight to the show.
Welcome to the FantasyLand Football Podcast.
All right. Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. Welcome into the show. Go ahead. Give yourself a little pat on the back, okay? You did good today showing up for the start or sit advice. I know. It's crucial, Badaki. It's crucial to get those wins right now heading into the playoffs. We're only maybe 5 weeks away from most people to the playoffs.
Is the countdown. This is the time. Your trade deadlines could be coming up if you have a trade deadline in your league. Ours is in the next 2 weeks, in week 11 for us. So, definitely be planning out if you are in a playoff position to try to get these pieces that can push you to the playoffs.
Yep, it's Zach here. That's Badaki. It is Thursday, the 5th of November. We got a great show for you today. Let's talk, obviously, the election's going on, and hopefully you were able to go out and vote and use your voice. We still don't know who it's going to be, but let's talk about some need-to-know news.
What is going on here?
What is going on around the National Football League? Okay, we told you this yesterday, but you need to be aware of the bye weeks. Eagles, Rams, Browns, Bengals, all on the byes. Please make sure you change your roster accordingly. Had some COVID news today, though, didn't we, Badaki?
That's right. A bit of a surprise here. Matthew Stafford, he's on the COVID reserve list. He had a contact with somebody that actually had COVID. It's not a team member. There's no one in the facility. Maybe someone, a family member, a friend. We actually don't know.
Yeah.
He came in contact with that person on Monday. There's talks that he should be eligible to play for that Sunday game versus the Packers, but that's still pending per his negative test. So keep an eye out. Make sure you know.
A lot of people probably picked Stafford up as a streamer this week.
Absolutely.
And he's probably a good stream if he plays, but you just don't know what's going to happen. So if you can place him on your COVID list and pick up another quarterback, do that. Otherwise, you may want to consider the risk aversion move here and choosing a different option.
That's
okay,
right.
Good news, though. Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders back at practice. This is great news, 1, for the Saints, and 2, if you're a fantasy owner of Michael Thomas, this is great news for you. Great news.
That's right. That's right. And you've been waiting for him. You've been waiting for Michael Thomas specifically to get back on this field.
Yeah, 100%. Hopefully we see him return. Such an elite option for fantasy football. Speaking of maybe the head honcho when we speak of elite options in fantasy football, Christian McCaffrey runs CMC. The boy is back.
That's right. He was seen at practice.
He was. Yep.
You must be buzzing right now.
I am definitely buzzing. I have been waiting since week 2 to get CMC back in our fantasy football league. And honestly, I can't wait to see him on the cash list maybe next week. Who knows? But he is back. And it looks like, from what Matt Rule said, he looked good. This is a quote from Matt Rule. He looked like Christian. This is the kind of stuff you want to hear as a CMC owner. This is the life you've been looking for, right?
That's right. I mean, all you want is hope. That's all you want.
Just give me a little bit of hope. That's all I need. Hey, we are going to constantly give you updates on all the injuries and reports that are happening. Easiest way for you to find out about what's going on in the NFL is to follow us on Instagram at FantasyLand Football or on Twitter at FantasyLand_FB. You'll be able to see all of the updates. Great content we post on there. You can watch the podcast on YouTube, hit the subscribe and notification button. And of course, you can listen on any podcast platform in the world. Let's talk about Chris Godwin. What's going on with Chris?
Look, I mean, he was he was a full participant in practice besides catching the ball. So he was running routes, he was running plays, he was doing all these things, but he wasn't getting the ball thrown to him. It was just more of a precautionary thing. They didn't want to risk anything at all, maybe him re-injuring that finger. So they're just going to wait until Friday, see how he goes, see what happens, and then go from there.
It's crazy to think that he had surgery on his finger last week. And
that's
there's
weird.
talks of him playing football, but, obviously they have the best medical staff in the NFL and with these teams. Austin Hooper returns to practice after that appendicitis, or the removal of his appendix, I believe. Appendix. We are not doctors, but Chris Carson also iffy for Sunday. Unknown if he will play or not. If he doesn't go, Carlos Hyde has already been ruled out. It's probably DJ Dallas again.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some players who did not participate in practice.
It's pretty big. Pretty big here. This guy,
list.
Alvin Kamara.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, bone bruise on his foot. It's not that serious. There's already been reports right before saying that he is going to play on Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday night or Monday night, or Sunday night against the Bucks. I know that for sure. So I guess don't worry about that. If you want, keep an eye out on that. Also, Mark Ingram did not practice on Wednesday, which also is an indication that it doesn't look good for him. Looks like he might not play this week. And J.K. Dobbins could be that guy for you guys.
Yeah, it could be. With these guys, Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, we're recording this on a Thursday, okay? And obviously statuses change heavily on a Friday and a Saturday. So with a guy like Michael Thomas specifically, you actually really need to be following us on Twitter and Instagram to get updates on these guys, because it's going to change since we've recorded this podcast. And with it being a Monday night football game, Michael Thomas, it's Sunday night actually.
Sunday night.
With it being a Sunday night football game, you need to have a backup plan in place unless we know they're going to play. If Michael Thomas plays, you play, and we're going to talk about him. But hey, we want to let you know there is now an opportunity for you to support this show. Okay, patreon.com/FantasyLandFam. That's the easiest way to support the show, isn't it?
Absolutely. We have a couple different tiers. Obviously, we kind of broke it down before. Close friends, gold, and platinum. All tiers represent something different. But if you want to just support the show, close friends is the best way. Gold, a little bit more exclusive access to content, fantasy content. Okay. And platinum is a one-on-one with both of us.
Oh, one-on-one.
We're just going to try, one-on-one. We're just going to try to help you, make it to the playoffs, whether it's this year, and maybe next year. We can get you geared up for next year and kind of talk you through what's going to happen for next year.
Absolutely. If you are even considering supporting the show, that is the biggest honor to us. That means so much.
Yes.
Last two pieces of news. Calvin Ridley not at practice. I don't expect him to play. You don't either?
No, I don't expect him to play.
Matt Breida, he was not practicing. A little bit concerning. Look, you need, again, to be following us on Twitter to get updates on Matt Breida. Be preparing for an alternate instead of Breida. We don't know who's going to be the guy there, so lots of unknowns there. But let's get into what we really want to talk about today. Start and sit advice.
Excuse me, can I touch you for a minute? Excuse me, can I touch you for a minute?
You can talk to us for a minute. Might be 40, 50 minutes, actually. Lots of time. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about start or sit advice. Start sit-ems for week 9 matchups. Okay? What we try and do every week is we try and take 6 key matchups through fantasy and walk you through them. We might not be choosing matchups that are obvious. We try and avoid the obvious ones that you probably already know who to start, who to sit. We try and find those harder ones where you might be a little unsure, and hopefully we can talk through them with you and help you make some decisions on your week. 6 key matchups, but Aki, start us off with the first one.
That's right. Look, 3 and 4 Lions at the 2 and 5 Vikings. I mean, I expect another day for your boy Dalvin Cook to be running all over this team.
Oh my gosh, probably.
Yeah, I believe so. I think there's gonna be a high scoring game. The over under is 53. And I can definitely take that personally. But look, must starts on the Lions. Let's start off first. Obviously, we heard the news of Matthew Stafford. He's going to be questionable, or technically right now he is questionable for this game. We don't know if he's playing.
Yeah.
So the best thing I can tell you is that I would not be starting a quarterback, his backup, which is I'm pretty sure Chase Daniel, if I'm not mistaken. I would not be starting him. But look, if that's the case and Matthew Stafford is out, I don't believe, Marvin Jones or Marvin Hall or TJ Hawkinson could be getting this production as expected. Their value is going to be hurt this week. Their production is going to be hurt this week. So take that with caution. But the person that I do think value goes up a little bit and I could be starting is DeAndre Swift. And the only reason why I say this is because, this is, a backup quarterback. If Matthew Stafford is out, DeAndre Swift could be a good, pass catching back. They're going to be throwing screens. They're going to be throwing quick slant outs, whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
in
that
DeAndre
makes sense.
Swift. Yeah, and he could be getting these points for your team. So be on the lookout for that. All hypothetical at the moment if Matthew Stafford's out. But if Matthew Stafford's in, Marvin Jones I'm playing. Marvin Hall, I think, will have a bigger production than Marvin Jones personally. And TJ Hawkinson, you always have to start.
Yeah. I think if Stafford doesn't play, I'm a little bit less on the Swift train and wondering if they might switch to Adrian Peterson for the security they might need. It's like, okay, they're going to take one because it's going to be one of the two options here. It's going to be, let's get Swift involved in the game plan. The talent's there. Obviously, Swift is a more talented back right now in their careers than Adrian Peterson. But will they try and err towards the side of safety and what we know from a player and consistency? Will they try and lean towards the old man Peterson? We don't know. And that's just something that comes to mind. I'm more hesitant on all the options if Stafford doesn't play, to be honest. I'm more hesitant on everyone.
I agree with you. I think I just want to give the people, hypotheticals just in case. And this is my thought process. If Chase Daniel is playing, DeAndre Swift could potentially be a good start, or it could be the opposite. Let
me ask you, this is how I'm actually seeing it right now, because I think this might break it down pretty easy for people. Let me know if you disagree with any of this. Okay. Swift, flex play at best.
Yes.
Marvin Jones, Marvin Hall, not starting if Stafford isn't playing, right?
Correct.
Flex plays at best if Stafford is playing.
Correct.
TJ Hawkinson, you're going to have to start regardless, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, cool. We're on the same page.
Say no more. Look on to the next team in Minnesota Vikings. This is pretty easy. Let's be honest. Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. These are the guys that you're starting. I know Irv Smith has been doing a little bit. He's been having a little bit more of a production. So if you're in a desperate need of a tight end, he could be a good starting option. But I'm personally not starting him. But a question that I had for you, I actually believe that Kirk Cousins could be a good streamer this week. If Matthew Stafford's out, and you are Matthew Stafford's owner, maybe you picked him up to stream. Kirk Cousins available. Is this somebody that you're looking at? Maybe considering?
Look, here's the thing. Kirk Cousins, I'll be honest with you, is never a quarterback I want in my starting roster. Right. Even if the matchup is beautiful. Obviously, let's look at Seattle. We have 6-point touchdown points in our league. So we always talk 6 points touchdown. So these numbers are lower for you if you're not 6-point touchdown league. Seattle, great stream, right? 18 points. Houston, great stream, right? 16 points. And then I look at the games like Indiana, -2 points. Last week against Green Bay, 12 fantasy points. Personally, I would rather look at another streaming option, but if you're in desperation mode and Taysom Hill's the only guy sitting there, then of course you're gonna stream Kirk. But I just have a lot of troubles trusting Captain Kirk, to be honest.
Right. Okay. Say no more. I guess that's my thought process. I was thinking maybe, the people that come to mind that are on the waiver wires right now is maybe like a Phillip Rivers, a Nick Foles, a Daniel Jones. It would have been Ryan Fitzpatrick, but Tua's out.
Well,
Tua's in now.
I think some of those names, that's a conversation well worth having, because I would start Kirk over some of those guys. Here's someone I want you to think about. Cam Newton, probably dropped by most people. I would much rather start Cam Newton against the New York Jets than I would Kirk Cousins. I just think that the upside is there. But Kirk, a decent streaming option. Let's talk about our second key matchup, the 3-4 Broncos at the 2-6 Falcons. Are the Falcons a good team? Are they actually a good team?
If they would have not blown those 2 games, they would be 4-6. Oh, no. Sorry. 4-4.
Yeah, that math does not work. But yes,
4-4.
does.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. They would be 4-4. I mean, this team could have easily been 5-3. Just being honest, with the opportunities that they had. I think this is a closer game than people think it will be. Let's talk about the Broncos. Noah Fant. I think he is a must start. Noah Fant, I think you have to start him. Drew Lock is back. Fant seems to be his target, seems to be the guy he's looking for security.
Right.
And Lock looked great in the second half. Not in the first half, but in the second half in that comeback victory against the Chargers, he looked very good. Melvin Gordon. This one's hard because I don't want to start him at all, even against the Falcons. But you have to. If Melvin Gordon's on your team and he's facing the Atlanta Falcons, you have to start Melvin Gordon. Am I wrong?
Right. No, you're right. You have to start Melvin Gordon. I don't see any other option starting him. My biggest concern is obviously with Philip Lindsay. You know, I wasn't expecting one. I didn't think he was going to play. Okay, I thought that was a big surprise. That wasn't a big surprise. I think he was confirmed to play on Saturday. I personally didn't think he'll have a big role. He took a lot of touches away from Melvin. He got that touchdown, run away from Melvin Gordon. This is how I'm thinking about it. But yeah, I'm not happy about Melvin.
Yeah, you're not happy starting him. It's kind of how we talk about David Johnson. You're not excited at all seeing these guys in your lineup.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
You probably have to start them. Speaking of Philip Lindsay, let's talk about him a little bit. We already did, but Philip Lindsay has been the more efficient running back since he's come back from injury.
Yeah,
This is the reason Melvin Gordon was a trade away target for us, I believe for you. Or was it me? Sorry, it was me.
One of us.
This is the reason that Melvin Gordon was a trade away target this week because of Philip Lindsay's efficiency so far. Look, I don't want to start Philip Lindsay, but he is a good desperation flex if you need this week with all the buys. But let's talk lastly about Jerry Jeudy on this team. I don't want to start Tim Patrick if you're curious. Jerry Jeudy. Here's the good thing. He had 10 targets last week. 10 targets is the kind of numbers we have not seen for Jerry Jeudy in a long time. And maybe they were like, hey, remember this guy that we spent a first-round pick on? The one that's mad talented? Probably the best route runner in the draft? Yeah, let's get him involved in the game plan. And they did, and it paid off. He had a great game, just under 75 yards. And he's going up against an Atlanta defense that is currently the 4th worst defense against wide receivers in fantasy. I like Jeudy as a flex play this week.
Absolutely.
You love Jeudy as well from our conversations.
I love Jeudy. I think he's an amazing talent. I think he has been underutilized by this offense. I think they need to do something about him and quick because he is explosive once he has the ball in his hand. And I mean, we saw what he did, which is the only touchdown of the season, mossing somebody against who was it? The Jets.
Jets, yeah. That was a crazy catch. Okay, let's talk about the Falcons. Must-start players, you are starting Julio Jones. Julito Jones. We love Julio. How do you not love Julio? Oh, my gosh. The dude is a freak of nature. Just look at him. He is a generational talent.
That's right.
I don't know why we don't need to spend time on this, but I just love Julio Jones. I feel like because I have Julio on my team now, I just am happy. Okay, you're starting Julio Jones. Hayden Hurst. Slowly but surely starting to become a very consistent target here in this offense. Yeah. Could see more targets with Calvin Ridley being out. And I know you're saying, but I know you've texted me 3 or 4 times this week asking me to trade Hayden Hurst to you. So obviously you like Hayden too, don't you?
I just wanted to know your evaluation on him. I don't want to spend too much on a tight end. Obviously, I mean, who does? Nobody wants to spend a lot on when they're trying to trade for somebody. But yeah, look, I believe that his value is going to go up. The only downfall with Hayden Hurst, I believe, in a fantasy perspective, he has this week, and then the next week he has a bye. I expect Calvin Ridley to be back after that bye, and maybe his production goes back down. But the past 3 games, he has scored over
with
10
Calvin
points.
Ridley. With Calvin
Ridley in it. So I think that's also a plus. So maybe if his production goes up even higher now, that would be really interesting. But if it stays the same, then I think maybe
well, something
his evaluation.
Something I want to note here is that in the past 3 weeks, the Falcons are 2-1. So there was some sort of philosophy change there. Obviously, firing of the coach, new coach, recognizing, hey, we spent a 2nd-round pick on this guy. Let's get him involved in the game plan a little bit more. And the last 3 weeks, 2-1, he's averaged around 13 fantasy points. So I believe Hayden Hurst is a solid starting option. Let's talk about some questionable players. Yes, Matt Ryan was not on my must start. Okay. He's been just in and out of that top 12 all year. I think it's a decent start this week, and I like him over most streaming options available.
Okay.
But he is just that steady guy who could put up 30 points for you. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So this conversation, keep in mind, you probably have to start him if he's on your team. But let's say you're in a situation you got like a Justin Herbert, for example, because a lot of people are in that situation. Probably leaning Justin Herbert for the upside. I just think Ryan is a solid guy, but he's not going to win you your week most weeks. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, very fair to say. Once again, Mighty Ice is he's either Matty Ice or he's Matty Ice. Matty Ice, he's gonna get you that W. But Matty Ice,
that boy was ice cold. Oh my gosh,
Matty
like ice. Oh, he was iced. Yeah,
it depends which ice you get.
Okay, Russell Gage,
crushed or cube.
Hey, I like to go to Chick-fil-A and get that crushed ice. I'll tell you what. Russell Gage. By the way, Chick-fil-A, if you ever listen, I am probably the biggest Chick-fil-A fan you will ever find. I have red status on my Chick-fil-A app. Not a weird flex, strange flex, but hey, no big deal, no big deal. When I came back from Sydney when I was in college, they brought out the Chick-fil-A cow for me because they knew me at a certain restaurant. Real story. And hey, you know what?
You're kidding.
No, real story. Anyway, Chick-fil-A, sponsor me, please. Okay, Russell Gage, desperation flex at best. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. And I feel like we've covered that matchup pretty well. Let's talk about the next one.
6-1 Seahawks at the 6-2 Bills. Look, I think will be a great game. I think this is gonna be a high scoring game. Obviously, with the, some would say MVP already. Yeah. MVP with Russell, obviously, and then
chef.
His weapons. Yeah, Chef, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett on the Seattle side of the ball. Those are obviously a must start. So I'm starting them with confidence. And then really the only questionable people to start here is Chris Carson. I think he's going to be a more game time decision. I think if he does play, it's going to be hard to sit him. And this is the position that I'm in. I have a feeling that they're going to say he's good to go, but they won't utilize him. I have that gut feeling. I don't know why. But we said it earlier, Carlos Hyde did not practice. He's already confirmed out. He's not going to make it. Trevor Boomer, if I'm not mistaken, which is the backup to the backup. Trevor Homer. Trevor Homer.
Hey, Boomer.
He will.
No. Your dad's a boomer, bro.
Yeah, honestly. Trevor Homer, I think he's going to be the backup to DJ Dallas. They saw what DJ Dallas can do. So if Chris Carson is out, I think DJ Dallas is going to be the guy for Sunday against this Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I wanted to talk quickly dynasty related. If you're in a dynasty league, would you rather have DJ Dallas or Chris Carson right now in a dynasty league? Because from what we saw, DJ could take that role in a year or so. He looked great. Looked efficient.
Look, we don't know. Chris Carson is still young. He's 26 years old. So
That's not young for a running back in this league.
No, I think it's not young for him because he's so injury prone. You know, like Saquon's 26, 24, something like that. You know, Saquon's only 2 years younger than him. I believe that Chris Carson still has some time. He just needs to stay healthy. And obviously, you know, that's hard.
But here's the reality. And I'm sorry if you're a Seahawks fan. The Seahawks are not going to offer Chris Carson a long-term deal. That's not going to happen at 26, 27 years old.
Yeah.
That's just unrealistic. And maybe they start looking towards the future. Anyway, that's just a thought I had.
Anyways, on to the Bills. Obviously, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs are your must-starts here. And then obviously not the questionable. Look, really, Devin Singletary, I believe, you know, you drafted with maybe a little bit of high draft capital. Maybe picked him in the 6th, 7th round-ish, hoping that he would do something. No one really expected Moss to come out. I mean, we expected Moss to come out, but not as much as we really expected him with his production so far. I personally think that Singletary and Moss, once again, is going to split these carries this game. It's hard to say. Maybe it turns to a shootout. So I don't see these guys being utilized a lot this game because the Seahawks, one, they have a bad, you know, secondary at the moment. So they're going to be giving up the ball a lot. But Jamal President Adams is still out.
Yeah, he is still out. And I think, unfortunately, you're going to have a lot of games where Singletary is the guy and he scores more points, and Moss is the guy and he scores more points. But
that's right.
Yeah, it is what it is.
That's about it, though. Like Moss, Singletary, there's not really much on this Bills offense that we can trust. Colt Beasley maybe, but I'm not confident in starting him. I think this team is lacking in weapons. Yeah,
I agree. Okay, well. Hopefully, if you have Moss or Singletary, that's helped you and not confused you. All right. Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Okay. All right.
What's that mean?
The upset of the week. The 4-3 Raiders visit the Los Angeles Chargers. This is our upset of the week. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we like to make bold predictions. We like to make upsets predictions that we feel have some validity to them. Mm-hmm. What happened last week, Badaki? Last week, what did we say?
We said they will win. That's what we said.
Well, who?
Good question. I forgot.
You really didn't set me up here. I was, I'm waiting for you to set me up so I could spike it.
I was trying. I actually don't remember.
Last
I'm
week.
trying to think.
Last week.
Who won? Tell me.
Okay, last week
and then I can say
we said that the Vikings were going to beat the Packers, and we got a lot of hate for that. A lot of hate, including DMs, people telling us we had no idea what we were talking about, to stay in our lane, including comments, people frustrated at us. Mm-hmm. And what happened?
People.
What we said could happen, happened, and the Vikings won. The biggest upset of the week, and we predicted it, okay? Again, what's our motto? We try and hit more than we miss, okay? By the way, a lot of those people deleted the comments and didn't reply to DMs. All good, but if you're going to talk the talk, walk the walk.
Just a disclaimer, before we move on, it's all love. Mind you, we're not
all love.
We're not coming out here to tell you that your team is garbage. We're not here to tell you that your team is this. We're looking at the matchups. We're looking at these players on both sides of the ball, and we believe that this team has a little bit more talent than your team. It's not a personal thing. We're not saying your team.
Or
is
it's
bad.
just a situation. Situation.
Exactly.
So we don't have bias towards any teams except for the ones that we cheer for, which is Washington and New York, and we try and keep the bias out of it. But yeah, we don't hate the Packers. By the way, Packers are the better team. Just thought the Vikings had a chance to win, and they did. So let's talk about this. We do believe that the Chargers have a great opportunity at home to upset the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are a strange team because there is a lot of talent on this team, but defensively, do they know who they are? And I think that's the area we're trying to attack here and trying to explain with this upset is the Chargers are a better team than 2-5, right?
Right. Absolutely.
A much better team than 2-5.
Mm-hmm.
And we feel that offensively, they've got it rolling. And they're starting to get a couple people back on the defensive end. This is a good defensive team. They've had really bad luck with injuries. And Justin Herbert, early days, we don't want to say just yet, but he seems to be that guy.
It looks like it.
And
it looks like it.
It's far too early to say. But from what we could see so far, Justin Herbert can lead his team to victory. We believe that the combination of the connection with Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Justin Jackson doing his thing, we believe that they can exploit this defense that has a lot of holes to it. We like the Chargers in an upset, don't we?
Absolutely. Look, if this offensive line wasn't hurt, one, if these Bs wasn't hurt, two, if Austin Eckler wasn't hurt, three, wow.
Oh,
That's it. That's it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about the Raiders. Over-under is 52. We believe that the under probably could happen this game, but let's talk about the Raiders. Josh Jacobs. Please do not worry about Josh Jacobs. Hit the brakes, relax, do not freak out, okay? And you're going to say, well, why, Zach? Why? He didn't have a great week. Yeah, he didn't, but what's king in fantasy? Volume is king. Say it with me on 3. 1, 2, 3. Volume is king.
Key.
Yes, there you go. Okay. What did he have last week? 32 touches. 32 touches from Josh Jacobs. That is elite numbers. He had about 8 touches in the red zone, 4 opportunities on the goal line. That offensive line was struggling hard to even give him an opportunity. I believe Josh Jacobs is going to be fine. I think he has a 15 to 20 point game this week. High upside this week. You're starting Josh Jacobs. Darren Waller. Probably
what a
the
story.
second most valuable tight end now in the NFL.
Absolutely.
The second most valuable tight end in fantasy right now. Right?
Yes.
Obviously, Kittle would be that guy, but he's injured.
Unlucky.
You're starting Darren Waller. Questionable players on the day. Derek Carr, Nelson Aguilar, and Henry Huggs, as we like to call him. I'm not confident starting any of these guys. I don't want to start Derek Carr. I don't want to start Nelson Aguilar, and I don't want to start Henry Huggs. The inconsistency is the reason. Show me some consistency in any of these guys first, and then we'll get talking about starting them.
Say no more.
Fair?
Absolutely. I agree. Derek Carr needs to be more consistent. I believe in him, actually. I'm rooting for him, not to win this game personally, but to be a great quarterback. Like, he give him one more year under John Gruden. I think they can bring something to the table for sure.
I like it. Okay, on the Chargers side of the ball, Justin Herbert, as we said, he seems like he is that dude. I think he's a weekly start now. You have to start him weekly, and I think the upside is there. You don't want that upside game to be sitting on your bench. If you have Herbert and another great quarterback, because a lot of people would have picked him off the waiver wire, now's your time maybe to trade one of those guys and improve the rest of your squad. For example, I had Lamar Jackson and I had Justin Herbert in one league. I decided to trade away Lamar for a top 12 wide receiver at the time, Chris Godwin. This was before he got that injury and the news about Antonio Brown. But the point is still there that you can upgrade parts of your team if you have that situation. Keenan Allen, target monster. You're starting him. Hunter Henry, I know he's been disappointing, but this is a high-volume offense. You have to start Hunter Henry if you have him. And Justin Jackson seems to be the RB1 while Eckler is out. Is it fair to say that now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's RB1. He's back. He's healthy. He's 100%. Shout out to Joshua Kelly. I love you, brother. You're a talented man. We'll see what happens. Now, sometimes you just got to move on. You got to move on and say, you know what? Joshua Kelly, he was a good guy, but he's just not that guy right now. He's not that guy in fantasy. You know, just letting you know that I like Joshua Kelly for maybe the future. What does that look like? I have no idea.
Yeah. No one can. Okay. Now, Justin Jackson, great start, I think. Las Vegas is currently 28th against the run. You need to be starting Justin Jackson if you have him. Now, questionable players. Only one I really want to talk about is Mike Williams. Is there a better definition of a Hail Mary start than Mike Williams? The dude could have 30 points or 3 every week, and it's because of that long ball, one-on-one ability. Mike Williams is elite when it comes to that. I think he's a great play this week against the Raiders defense currently.
I think so as well.
In the back half against wide receivers, I think that Herbert will probably be throwing the ball up, giving him an opportunity to come down with it in the end zone. I'm calling it Mike Williams back-to-back touchdowns from last week to this week. I'd like to start Mike Williams if I need a flex. Is that fair?
Yeah, I just had a revelation. What if Mike Williams was a tight end? It sounds weird, but think about it.
Yeah,
he has
big.
the body. He's a big guy.
He is
I mean,
big.
if he can, I haven't looked at his blocking. I'm pretty sure he can block pretty well. Maybe he can be open.
That's probably the issue, really. That's probably the reason why he's not been a tight end is you have to be able to block to be a good tight end in this league. But yeah, I don't hate it.
Who knows?
That's more like some Madden moves. That's more like some Madden moves. You just switch the player and
yeah. You want to play this position? Yeah, we'll put him in. Look. You know, if you're listening, whoever in the Chargers organization, move him, switch him, see what happens. 4-3 Dolphins at the 5-2 Cardinals. I think this is gonna be a great game. Personally, hopefully, this is a game I'm gonna be watching because this is gonna be Tua's not official first game, but he is going to be challenged. Tremendously because this defense is, a lot more talented than the Rams. Don't get me wrong, the Rams defense is very talented. They have a lot of great pieces there. But anyways, look, obviously the news of the week, Myles Gaskin is out for 3 weeks. Still hasn't confirmed if he's on IR. This is the most frustrating part because if you do have IR spots in fantasy, you just want to know so you can put him there and pick up somebody else. But if you do have that option, that's great.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
That's right. That's right. Look, the big question is who's going to be the starter running back? And should we really trust Matt Breida? Matt Breida obviously didn't practice on Wednesday. We're going to see if he practices today once we get the reports. But if Matt Breida practices today in full participation, maybe, he just took the day off, whatever the case may be. But look, it's really hard to start any running backs from the Miami Dolphins. Now, I was really excited in Myles Gaskins. I know you were, but now you just you can't trust it.
You can't really start anyone with any confidence, but it's a desperation play at best. Yeah, and you're probably in a desperate spot, some of you, with running backs. Running backs have been so hard this year.
Yeah, I saw somebody saying on Instagram it was Matt Breida if he plays or Hasty. And I will go Hasty personally. Whoever, if you're listening to this, maybe you started him already. Obviously, the game's tonight, but maybe you already answered the question. But look, the overall summary of this Dolphins team is kind of hard to start anyone now. Obviously, the whole conversation with Tua coming in as a starting quarterback, which once again we're going to see again to see if he's going to be producing because he really didn't have to do anything last game.
No, he didn't.
We're gonna see if he is going to if he's going to be a factor in this game. Because that really depends on Tua. Yeah. If Devontae Parker is going to be somebody, if Mike Gesicki is going to be somebody, Preston Williams, anyone on this team is going to be a factor for this Dolphins offense. Because right now, I don't want to start Parker. I don't want to start Mike Gesicki. The only person I was confident in starting was Myles Gaskin, and you can't even do that now. So.
No, it's strange now. You don't know what to do here. It's strange now. So, proceed with caution.
Absolutely. Cardinals side of the ball, Kyler Murray, D-Hop, and Chase Edmonds, obviously. And really the only other person that I'm kind of questionable with, which is crazy to say that I am questionable of actually starting, is Christian Kirk. And the reason being is that I mean, he had 2 back-to-back good games, okay? He had 2 back-to-back games that he had
Yes,
two
he
touchdowns
did.
each, which is really interesting. It looks like he's kind of surpassing. They're actually finally starting to use Christian Kirk in this offense because he wasn't really utilized last year. There was a lot of talks of him being utilized. There was a lot of talks of him being this guy, and now we're finally seeing it in these 2 back-to-back games. So,
Yeah. Christian Kirk's a weird one because yes, he scored 4 touchdowns in 2 weeks, but there's still not that trust there, is there? Because you think about, oh well, Larry's there, Andy Isabella is kind of that guy who could get a long touchdown. He's that speedster.
right.
So it is still really hard to start Christian Kirk, and I don't think he has a touchdown this game. And I could be wrong, but I think he finishes with under 10 fantasy points. So I'm personally not starting him. The Dolphins have their cornerbacks back. They're healthy. And this is a defense we should respect. And with that being said, I'm not going to start Christian Kirk unless I am in a desperate situation.
Yeah, say no more. I mean, the person I believe that's going to really take off is Chase Edmonds. We didn't go in depth into him, but
Yeah.
I mean, obviously with Kenyon Drake out, Chase Edmonds is going to be the only guy that's
This is
obviously
exciting.
and D-Hop, obviously. But yeah, like those are the
of
2
course.
guys that's going to go off on this team, really.
And Murray, yeah.
Yeah, for
Chase
sure.
Edmonds is exciting. I'm excited to see him as a starting running back because, as you know, if you've listened to the show, we both probably believe he's the more talented running back there. Will he be given the opportunity to prove that he is? Will he be able to give the opportunity to be the starter maybe if he shows that? I'm excited to see Edmonds in this offense. I know you traded for Drake, so don't let your bias slip in here. Chase Edmonds, we believe, is a more talented back, right? I'm excited to see this.
No, look, I am excited to see this. This is a great opportunity finally for Chase Edmonds to take full range of this offense to see what he can do and what he can produce. I think Kenyon Drake, yes, he is talented. We're gonna see if he's really somebody once he comes back, really.
For sure. The reports of Drake coming back earlier than later definitely hurt that case of Edmonds taking the starting role. But it'll be exciting to see. I'm really excited to watch that game. So much unknown that will hopefully be established. I want to see Tua have diversity. Have adversity, and see if he overcomes it. See if he can lead a team to a victory because he didn't really need to last week.
No.
Our last key matchup of the week: the 5-2 Saints at the 6-2 Buccaneers.
Oh boy!
Sunday night football. This is the kind of primetime games we want. I don't want no freaking Eagles, Cowboys. Get that out of here, okay? I'm excited for this game. I am really excited for this game. This was a week 1 matchup, and the Bucs did not look like a team that knew their identity just yet. They were trying to figure out how all the pieces worked with Tom Brady and this new look offense.
Yeah.
And now I think we can actually judge both of these teams. This is the matchup we can look at and say, you've had time. Obviously, Chris Godwin might not be there and the addition of Antonio Brown, but the identity should be there. So this is the game where we can kind of judge and say, all right, who's going to win this division? It's going to be one of these guys. Who's it going to be? I'm excited for it. Over-under is 51. I think the over is safe. So let's talk about the Saints side of the ball first. Alvin Kamara, what do you think? Are you starting him?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
I don't
not.
know.
Maybe not this week. It's just not a good matchup. Just not a good matchup.
No, of course you are starting Alvin Kamara. One of the best starts. Yes, he has a bone bruise in his foot, but he will play. Let's talk a little bit about Michael Thomas. Obviously, if he plays, you are starting him without a doubt. Do not question it. The talent is elite. The targets hopefully will be there. You're starting Michael Thomas, and you're not thinking about it.
Yep.
Now, as we said, you need to have a backup plan in place. in case he does not play. Great backup plan could be Emmanuel Sanders. Could be maybe Traquan Smith. However, I'm not starting either of those guys if MT does play. Let's talk about the tight end position here. Okay, Jared Cook. Low key. He's starting to put some really good games together in the last couple of weeks. Has Jared Cook solidified himself as a must-start tight end?
Look, it looks like it. Once again, I think last week he had more than 4 or 5 targets, which is
7 targets last week.
It's kind of like finally, because the last couple games he was only targeted like 3 or 4 times. He only caught 2 of those 3 or 4 passes, and luckily, those 3 or 4 passes was a touchdown. They were touchdowns. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think you can start him. I think when MT comes back, it's gonna be hard for him.
It will
for
be
him to
very
start.
interesting to see how that works. You're right.
Yeah.
This is the type of games we expected when we told you to trade for him after the MT injury. Didn't work out. But in the last 3 games, he's had a touchdown in every single game, has scored over 12 points in every single game at the tight end position. That's pretty respectable.
Yep.
I think he is moving himself into the must-start conversation. If Cook is back, I'm a little bit less excited. If Thomas is back, I'm less excited, but I think you can start him. I think he can be a weekly start now. And what was the deal with him last year? He was touchdown dependent, but he scored touchdowns, and he did it consistently.
And that's what you wanted.
You want the favorite target in the end zone, and it seems to be Jared Cook right now for Drew Brees. Now, I'm not starting Drew Brees with confidence, am I?
No, you can't. You really can't. Not with Michael Thomas out. I think with Michael Thomas in, that gives them more of an opportunity for them to throw the ball more. Kind of more, points, touchdowns, whatever the case may be. But no, you can't start Drew Brees with confidence right now. If you need a streamer, it could be a good stream. I mean, Daniel Jones put up a couple points. I mean, not as much, if we're just going by last game. But I think Drew Brees is also hit and miss guy, I feel.
He's very hit and miss, yeah.
He can go off or he won't do anything.
Against this Bucs defense, I'm not trying to prey on a hit. Let's talk about the Bucs. Tom Brady. Tom Brady is a decent start here. I think you can start him. New Orleans is currently 27th against quarterbacks. So you do the maths. They are the 5th worst team defending quarterbacks. And of course, we always talk about stats through the lens of fantasy. I think you can start Tom Brady. I think you can start the GOAT. He's got Mike Evans, Antonio Brown making his first game back.
This is interesting.
Oh, that's going to be exciting.
This is interesting. The reason why I believe Antonio Brown is going to score. I think he's going to get a lot of looks. I think he'll get a lot of touches. They want to get him back in the rhythm and into having a game, get him hit.
I imagine he has the same game he had when he went to New England last year.
Yes, I was just about to say that. They
targeted him heavily, and he found the end zone. I'd expect maybe 15 to 20 points this week from Antonio Brown.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I believe his game, he will have the exact same game. He's going to find the end zone. He will get targeted significantly, which in question turns to who is going to lose these touches.
Yep.
Obviously,
I have my opinion.
We lean, and I think we kind of have the same thing. Kind of I lean on both sides. Yeah. Mike Evans could lose these touches because he's like this deep down pass guy. Antonio Brown is also that guy, but Antonio Brown can also play the slot, in my opinion, and I believe that Antonio Brown could be utilized a lot better in the slot. Personally, who knows? There's still a lot to see with Gronk there.
Yeah.
There's just so many pieces that we just don't.
Let's not forget, Chris Godwin is an elite slot wide receiver. You've been robbed this year because of injuries. You've been completely robbed. But this could be really good for Chris Godwin when he comes back. And the reason I say that is let's look at how good Juju was when Antonio Brown was on the outside. Juju in the slot was great. And I think, as we know, and as we've talked about, a lot of that was because of how good Antonio Brown was on the outside.
Right.
I think if Chris Godwin starts, you play him. If Mike Evans starts, he will, sorry. He's a good flex. But you also got Gronk there. And is Gronk a must start? Maybe he is a must start considering the tight end position.
It's looking that way right now.
Then you factor in Ronald Jones. You factored in Leonard Fournette. Here's what I'm really worried about with this offense. And this is purely from a fantasy perspective, okay? Keep in mind, I have Chris Godwin in the league. And I still believe he will be relevant. But here's what's worrying for me about this entire offense. There will be weeks where players should be very fantasy relevant, and they are not fantasy relevant at all. You can only get so many people involved into a game. Right now, you've got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Gronk, Fournette out of the backfield, Ronald Jones out of the backfield. You got Scotty Miller. You got Ty Johnson. There are 5 elite options, and there's 8 total options. You can only spread the ball so far, and we've seen the Bucs defense really limit, and which is good for the team, the opportunities that you need to take as an offense.
Yeah.
If I have anyone in this offense, I'm a little bit worried because the ball's going to get spread a lot, which will lead to less upside for all these players. All of them. Is that fair?
No, you're absolutely right. I think that when you evaluate these players, and if you don't have a trade deadline, give yourself 2 weeks. Give yourself 2 weeks to see how these guys perform. Because if Chris Godwin is in the mix for this game on Sunday night with Antonio Brown in, this is everyone. This is every single weapon that they have is finally playing. But if Chris Godwin isn't playing, it's going to be a little bit hard to evaluate really, this ball distribution. So give yourself some time, see how it goes. Maybe you can sell them now. Maybe if you're uncomfortable and you agree with what Zach said, sell Mike Evans, sell Chris Godwin, sell Gronk, whoever you have, sell them now because these are perfect opportunities for you to maybe cash in other players.
Oh man, it's just great for the Bucs. Super frustrating if you own any of these guys, and
that's right.
There's just not much you can do. Great for the Bucs though. Lots of options. Are the Bucs a legit Super Bowl contender?
I don't think so. No.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. I think if they win this game, they will solidify themselves as a legit Super Bowl contender. And here's what I want to explain. This defense is legit. Badaki, you've said that all the time. This defense is legit. And what have we seen work with Tom Brady? Elite defenses and managing games. But now he has an elite defense and an elite offense of repertoire, if that's the right way to say that word.
Yeah.
I think they could be a legit Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, now thinking about it, you're right. I'm just going through the teams in the NFC East. Not NFC East, but the NFC. The only teams I can see here, Packers, Seahawks, Rams potentially, the Saints. No one in the NFC East is going to beat them. That's really the only contenders. Maybe the Cardinals can definitely, I think, can have they'll have a shootout, but this is like a playoff picture, Bucs could be playing the Seahawks, Bucs could be playing the Cardinals, Bucs could be playing the Packers. These are all things we can see. I can see.
For sure. And I think the teams like the Seahawks and the Packers make me less confident of calling this a Super Bowl contender. But you can't count out the GOAT. That is all for our start-sit segment, but there's more. We're going to give you Hail Mary matchups.
Back in 82, I used to be able to throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over them mountains?
All right, Hail Mary matchups of the week. What is a Hail Mary matchup? Okay, well, let's talk about what is a Hail Mary. Basically, you got to throw up a prayer and see what comes down. It's a risky play, but sometimes it can pay off. So let's talk about Hail Mary matchups. What we're going to do is take the rest of the games from the week and give you one player that we like for their matchup and we believe could be a Hail Mary. We're going to take 30 seconds on the clock, go back and forth each. Badaki, start us off here.
As you said that, you said one player. Anyways, I'm actually going to switch it up. 1-7 Giants at the 2-5 Vikings. I think everyone on the New York Football Giants team is a Hail Mary. If you have Sterling, Darius Slayton, Daniel Jones, Wayne Gallman, these are all Hail Mary matchups if you need to kind of slot somebody in. This is a great opportunity purely because they're playing the Washington football team. The New York Giants are a Hail Mary matchup.
Don't sleep on the Washington football team. Okay, here we go. Number 2, the 5-3 Bears at the 5-2 Titans. My one player is Anthony Miller. Yes, I know you cannot trust him, and I'm not telling you to start him, but it is a Hail Mary if you need a desperation. Why? Led the team with 11 targets last week. Could be developing that connection with Nick Foles. We've said Nick Foles likes the slot. Hey, throw up a Hail Mary, see what happens.
3-5 Panthers at the 7-1 Chiefs. Look, we saw what Curtis Samuel did last week. Obviously, CMC should be back this week. I don't think he's going to get any touches in the run game, but I think the pass game is going to be open purely because the Chiefs secondary is good. I think Robbie Anderson is going to be locked down. DJ Moore is going to be locked down. Curtis Samuel could be a good Hail Mary matchup this week.
Love it. The 1-6 Texans at the 1-6 Jaguars. The race for Trevor Lawrence. Jokes. Okay, one player is Darren Fells. Yes, he dropped an egg last week.
Wow.
Or whenever before the bye. This is, again, the definition of a Hail Mary. Because Darren Fells at any point could finish as a tight end 1 or the worst tight end on the week.
That's right.
So he seems to be Watson's favorite tight end target. What value does that carry? We don't know, but it could be a Hail Mary worth throwing up.
Love it. 5-2 Ravens at the 5-2 Colts. Wow, what 5-2. This is great. Look, really just the tight end position. Trey Burton or Jack Doyle. Both of these guys actually scored a touchdown last game. I think this is a great opportunity for them. Obviously, the Ravens defense are a tremendous defense, but we all know how much Phillip Rivers loves the tight end position. I think both of these guys could be a good Hail Mary option for you guys this week.
I like it. Last Hail Mary matchup, the 7-0 Steelers at the 2-6 Cowboys. Our one player is CeeDee Lamb. I know. It's crazy to hear his name in the Hail Mary conversation now, right? Mm-hmm. All of us have this expectation. What? CeeDee's getting the targets. He's the most talented guy. Yes, but we don't even know the names of the guys starting at quarterback. Okay? I mean, we do, but we have to look them up and figure out who the hell they are. So that is why this is a Hail Mary. I believe there is upside there because CeeDee is a very talented wide receiver, but you do need to proceed with caution. Those are our Hail Mary matchups of the week. Hey, did we miss a player this week? Maybe we did miss a player that you wanted to hear about for week 9. It's very possible. So what we do, are we going live this week, Badaki? Are we actually going live?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Everything's set.
So,
should be good.
Here's what you need to know. On Saturday, we are going live on Instagram or YouTube.
Platform TBC, but we are definitely going live.
We are definitely going live. Make sure that you tune in. It will be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Okay? Make sure you are there if you want to ask questions about any players. If you have any questions about start or sits, we will be there live for an hour. We're going to answer any questions that you have. We'd love to talk to you. We'd love to see what sort of questions you are going through. Do not miss it. We will post about it. And don't miss the next episode either. We got straight cash and just trash from week 9. We're also going to talk about Monday Night Football, Patriots at Jets. One last thing we want to tell you. A couple last things we want to tell you. The George Kittle jersey giveaway. It ends tonight.
That's right.
Tonight is a night we're going to announce the winner. So do not miss out on it. Head to our Instagram at FantasyLand Football so you can make sure to follow the steps to enter. You can follow us on all of our social platforms, Twitter, YouTube, And last thing we want to say is how you can support the show. Badaki, how can they support the show?
Patreon.com/Fantasyland. Just a way to show love, just a way for us to continue growing, for you to continue getting amazing fantasy football content and exclusive giveaways, exclusive, insight on how we start, our podcast and just fantasy football advice in general. So shout out Patreon.com/Fantasyland fam.
That's right. At first you said Patreon.com/Fantasyland. Make sure it is Fantasyland fam. Patreon.com/Fantasyland fam. So appreciative to anyone who supports the show. You guys are the best. We love this community. And I'm ready for some football.
I'm ready for some football. I'm pumped. Finally, football. It feels like forever. This gap here needs to be figured out.
Yeah, and it worries me about when the season is over because what the hell am I going to do? But all that being said, hope you guys have a great Thursday. All love from Badaki and I. We'll see you on the next episode. Good luck this week. Get that dub. We will see you there.
See you there.
Hey, yeah, you, the one listening to this podcast, you made a good decision today. Keep making those good decisions. You know what? Go ahead and do a little dance right now, like no one's watching. 'Cause you deserve it.